Mr. President, reserving the right to object. I first want to note it's been suggested that there is only one objection to Chai Feldlbum's nomination for the EEOC. That is not true. I am among those objectors. I am not the lone objector. My objection to this nominee relates to my belief in religious freedom. You see, religious freedom is very important to me. I'm the descendant of people who were ordered exterminated by the governor of Missouri on October 27, 1837. Religious intolerance cannot be tolerated in this country. And I see a growing wave of religious intolerance. I see a growing wave of sentiment of people suggesting that on the basis of people's religious beliefs that they can be subject to adverse government decision-making. Ms. Feldlbum has written that she sees a conflict between religious belief and LGBT liberty as, quote, a zero-sum game, where, quote, a gain for one side necessarily entails a corresponding loss for the other side, close quote. I see no reason why that should be the case, and I think that's fundamentally incompatible with our nation's long tradition of pluralism and religious freedom. And make no mistake, there is no mystery about which side Ms. Feldlbum thinks should win. In a separate speech, she said, quote, there can be a conflict between religious liberty and sexual liberty, but in almost all cases, the sexual liberty should win. I'm having a hard time coming up with any case in which religious liberty should win, close quote. I find these remarks stunning, especially because an entire amendment to the U.S. Constitution, the very first one, by the way, is devoted to religious liberty. These are not the words of an open-minded jurist, Mr. President. These are not the minds of an open-minded lawyer. These are the words of an activist intent on stamping out all opposition to her cause. In fact, she's even said as much. She said, quote, granting liberty to gay people cannot be adequately advanced if pockets of resistance are permitted to flourish. Who is she to decide whether or not someone should be permitted to persist in their own religious beliefs simply because those beliefs happen to conflict with a particular political worldview? As an EEOC commissioner, Ms. Feldlbum would be in a prime position to stamp out those pockets of resistance. As she herself has noted, quote, the EEOC has jurisdiction over only employment, but other federal agencies that enforce sex discrimination provisions often look to our interpretation for guidance in interpreting the laws they enforce, close quote. The federal government should never, Mr. President, be used as a tool to stamp out religious liberty. That principle is so central to our nation's founding and to human happiness itself. It's so important that we've got to stand behind it. Ms. Feldlbum, however, wants to deny exactly that. And on that basis, I object to her confirmation.